G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a KV Broadside. This is a weapon that has been ported from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2022. If this weapon's namesake wasn't already enough of a clue, this is a shotgun based on a real-life firearm called the VTAW, which was a Russian-made shotgun, obviously, developed back in 2003, meant to be a direct competitor to the Saiga 12 shotgun, which is another Kalashnikov-style shotgun. So you get the reliability and ruggedness of your AK platform, and if you already know how to use an AK rifle, this thing wouldn't be too far away, so what's not to love? But in Call of Duty, they've given it its Walmart home brand name as a Broadside because licensing fees, they're expensive. Not to mention the negotiating fees for the licensing and all of that time and effort that would go into that as well. And look, when you're releasing games every year, kind of like how McDonald's produces their meals very fast, very quick, very efficient, then you don't have time to get bogged down in bureaucracy. All that said, at least you can say that the Call of Duty fans and FPS enjoyers in general have been eating well over the past couple of years, whereas us RPG players have been getting slop for the past couple of years, and look, pickings are slim. But hey, maybe on the slim chance that the next Battlefield that they're going to make is going to be good, I can go back to the FPS instead of being in this RPG space that's filled with communists and Marxists and other idiot ideologues. So we went a little bit off track there. Let's talk about the Broadside. So this thing's got custom sounds and animations ported from Call of Duty, so what you'd expect out of any good quality Call of Duty mod. You can craft this at a chemistry workbench. I'll show you what to do with that later on, but for now, let's get into the attachments. And first of all, we're starting with the legendary effect provided by Legendary Modification. We'll skip over that. We get to the magazines. You can have an 8 shell mag, 12 shell mag, or a 25 shell drum. Why would I pick anything but the 25 shell drum? Sure, it's going to slow down the reload speed, but that ammo capacity is going to be great. Next, we've got the optics. You'd have iron sights, and you have all of these other Call of Duty home brand looking sights, including that one. That looks like that's a scope. That might be useful a little bit later, but 6.3 times for a shotgun? Cool. Sniper status for slug shotgun, we'll make that work. But for now, we'll throw on this monocle because it's a sight of Russian design. It's nice and open, so I feel like that fits with this particular shotgun. Next, we've got the bolts. You can have a standard bolt, a hard bolt, which will decrease your DPS and your fire rate, or a dash bolt, which will increase your fire rate and your DPS. So I don't see why you'd ever want to choose the hard bolt over that. Maybe you could make that do more crit damage, so you can have monster crits when using this thing, but there's no indication that is actually what happens. Perhaps that's in Call of Duty for like recoil control, but it's a shotgun. You don't have to be precise with it unless you're using slugs, but at close range, then not much of a problem. Next, we've got the muzzles. You can have choke, improved choke, standard muzzles here, and then there's a few suppressors if you feel like it as well. Bigger suppressors, different type of muzzle brakes, and a modified choke, and a full choke here, which gives you the greatest amount of range. So we'll throw the full choke on this thing, and then we'll go over to the next attachment slot, which is just a little laser on the side, or perhaps a flashlight if you feel like it as well. So that's kind of cool. So pick your color, green, blue, or red if you feel like it. We'll go for a red one here, and then we'll move on to the next one. This one's the underbarrel grips. You can have little stubby grips, angle grips, and longer foregrips, including, is there one of them called a pineapple? Yes, we'll use the pineapple. Lovely. Next, you've got a perk, which is sleight of hand. That'll just make your reloads faster. I've already got a faster reloading in the perk chart, so it's going to make the reload super fast by comparison, but that's fine because the drums, they take long to reload anyway, so I feel like that's fine. Next, we've got the grips, and pick what you want here. You know, all of this flavor text, you can read it if you feel like it, but that one apparently reduces flinch under fire, which I feel like as a non-precision weapon like this, that wouldn't be too much of a problem, but yeah, at least it looks comfortable, so we'll do that one. And now, this is where you can change the different ammo types. You can have buckshot, dragon's breath, explosive, or slug. We'll go for dragon's breath, and I'm thinking, since this thing doesn't actually give it any extra extraneous, like Skyrim fire damage, it's just going to make it have the incendiary projectiles, which might make it hard to see my target, but again, it's a shotgun. Accuracy is optional. Let's move on to the next one. Now we got stocks. You can pick whatever one you want here. It looks like a short barrel AK stock there. It doesn't look too comfortable. Let's find something big and bulky that'll help absorb some of that recoil. Let's go for this one, that TAC Elite stock. And now we go over to the barrels. You can have dead sight 90. That'll increase your range compared to the standard by quite a lot. But some of these barrels you can get super long. Like, check out this one down here. 227 range for a shotgun is quite massive. So, sure, let's throw that one on. Why not? We'll have a long-range shotgun again. Didn't really work out well for us last time, but I'm sure it'll work out fine for us again. Right? Anyway, so you get an advanced receiver. That's your strongest receiver you can get out of this thing. It is also only semi-auto, so yeah, no automatics on this thing. But there you have it. That's all the attachments. We get 250 damage, which I believe is fairly on par with the vanilla game combat shotgun. So I believe the rate of fire is higher, but lesser ammo capacity. So sure, if you lack balance, then I feel like this thing's going to fit in quite well with the vanilla repertoire of weapons. So there you go, 1050 DPS. Let's see what this bad boy can do. Actually, I'll show you how to get him
On
first.
your chemistry workbench, you can craft the KV Broadside in a couple of different ways. You can produce it out of a combat shotgun, or you can craft it with raw materials, which don't require any gun nut ranks at all. So provided you can get these nice and early, you can get yourself a Broadside very early indeed, which could possibly break the balance if you're worried about that, but I'm not. This might be a problem. Looks like we're not using this
Okay,
script.
we're back. Immersive Gunners Plaza awaits. Here is our Broadside in first person with its open sight there, and those mosquitoes are in for a world of pain. So whilst they're at it, we'll take a quick look at this thing in third person. That's what it looks like. And if you're wondering why the game is turned down so low, it's because this thing is ungodly loud, so I had to change that. There's a reload animation in third person, by the way, so yes, isn't that cool? Notice how the charging handle is on that side. Yeah, that might trigger a few people, but no, that's how they had it in Call of Duty, so there you go. The outfit is called the Synth High Mobility suit because it gives you high mobility because you can find it on VTAW's Patreon if you're interested, and if you want to chuck him a few shekels, then you can get multiple different textures for this. But it's got the Institute paint on it right now, or Institute color scheme, so that works for Phoebe. Anyways, moving on. This is sniper status version. I changed the scope on this thing, and it's a see-through scope, so it indeed works. And something odd about this weapon is that the recoil doesn't reset, so you're gonna have to reel that in every time you take a shot, which I think is interesting. Well, it's different from the norm, so it might take a little bit getting used to, but I don't know, you could argue that it adds a little bit of a skill depth to it, because now instead of letting the game reset your crosshair every time the recoil resets, you gotta do it yourself. And lastly, we've got this one. It's got a drum, short barrel, standard everything. I got a choke on it though, and it's got 12 gauge frags, just like Battlefield used to make. We'll have to see how that one goes, but for now, we'll start off using snipey status shotgun. I definitely didn't forget to put the 12 gauge slugs into sniper status shotgun. No, let's just shoot people and forget that that ever happened. Anyways, we'll start off, and it looks like we've got what is indeed hit scan projectiles, which means if we can just keep them at bay, we can hit them for 600 and possibly more if they want to get close up. See that? Yeah, 1300. That was with a headshot at closer range. Not quite so impressive over a longer distance, but now we're getting Grim Reaper's sprint procs, and as soon as we're able to stack some of this Grim Reaper's sprint, gun fu, we're getting crits every time we actually hit stuff, which I could have, started with the turrets to build that up early, but I think you get the idea. So yeah, it's basically a battle rifle at this point. Gigantic slugs we're shooting down range, not super dissimilar to full-powered rifle cartridges in terms of power, right? I mean, less armor penetration, more force. I mean, it's a 12-gauge slugs are big, so it'd be quite devastating to the human body to be hit with one of those things. And I'm not a scientist, man, but I can definitely infer that. Anyways, so we'll shoot this admittedly pretty gunner in the face until she goes away. And pick the wrong side, girly. And then we'll get up nice and close. That was a bloody mess kill there. Love to see it. And yeah, we're just tripping on roots, overgrown roots now. That's fine. Now we get to where this thing isn't quite so flattered. See, I'm playing on very hard difficulty, which means all that damage that you're seeing, at least on the weapon card, it's cut in half. That is even before we hit their armor, and it's deducted further from there, which kind of means that every single shotgun that I use is
kind of like underpowered feeling. Just for testers, I went around and used this on normal difficulty with no damage, and like the difference is night and day. So out of all like weapons on the difficulties, I think shotguns are gimped the most. I suppose miniguns as well with their terribly low damage per bullet. But there are other minigun mods you can use to alleviate that. Shotguns, even if they're modded in, are kind of left in the dry. Unless you give them some sort of crazy like ammo passing ability. You could argue that, say, using like flechette rounds to penetrate through the armor is a good idea, but it's not all doom and gloom. If you've got a rifleman that guy just point blanked me with an RPG. If you've got a semi-automatic shotgun, generally it's covered by a rifleman, which does give you a little bit of armor penetration. Not super much. Did I mention I had a jetpack? Well, I've got one of those. A jetpack, a high mobility suit, and a grappling hook. Yeah, that's... Funnily enough, the high mobility suit, as is, designed for synths, by the way. We're not a synth, we can still use it. I mean, we're close enough, right? But yeah, it's got nothing to do with any of these. It's a Rob Curry jetpack on the back. I like how she tries to fight fire with fire by throwing a Molotov at me. Don't think that worked too much for her. Anyway, so now, let's carpet bomb this guy with 12 gauge frags. Bonus points if we can get the hits going. And it looks like we've got plenty of crits ready to go. Not a lot of health, so we should probably monitor that a little bit closer. And fly. You're only little baby. Okay, we kind of underutilized the frags here, so we'll keep going and see if we can't. We've got those three in there, but I'm looking for the clipboard person who... There you are. Looks like they were getting killed by a deer long before I showed up. Now this should be good, right? Can we splash damage multiple at once? I mean, kinda. Neat. Okay, that kind of worked. It's nothing like the vanilla game explosive shotguns with the legendary effect, which turns all of the pellets into individual explosive bullets, but I feel like that's kind of cool. We just need a USAS-12 or USAS-12 with frag rounds one day. That'll take me right back to the battlefield 3 days of cheesing. USAS and Claymores team deathmatch. Yes, I was one of those players. You can dislike the video because of that statement, that's fine. By the way, these glasses, they don't allow you to save. You gotta take them off to save. The rest of this is fine, which means there's some sort of script attached to these glasses that I don't quite know about. So when I was doing some research about this weapon by watching some popular Call of Duty YouTuber, I forgot his name already, but the video title was like the most toxic shotgun ever or something like this in Call of Duty, and he was going through his clips and playing some sort of search and destroy facsimile, and every time he killed some of the people, they were like, dude, what the hell was that? What were you shooting me with? And yeah, he was cheesing it hardcore with this glorious shotgun. Unfortunately, the mysterious stranger showing up has totally cucked my sneak criticals. But unfortunately, that's not really reflected here. This is pretty one-of-the-mill. There's someone still aggroing him. It's that bastard there. Get out of here. I want my sneak criticals, damn it. God damn it, mysterious stranger. Yes, kill him. Please kill him. And now we begin. Seriously, what's still aggroing this guy? All I wanted was some good sneak criticals. Also, fun fact about see-through scopes, unless you've got a mod that changes your view to first person, when you start aiming down sights, you just fly and then you just aim in third person and not have to worry about... Hang on, let me just reload this real quick for you. You can fly and you aim down sights with the same amount of zoom in as you get from pretty much any other iron-sighted weapon, which is good because at this range we're kind of pushing it. We've got a bunch of crits ready. Why don't we hit him with some slugs and maybe not get hit entirely all the time? I think the armor we've got today is a little bit light because he's killing me a little bit faster than usual. Get a slight amount of pushback when we hit him, so if he decided he was going to That's, well, the Mysterious Stranger's shown up again, but now I'm in Nerd Rage. I'm sort of being Django fetid here. I want to activate my jetpack to escape the danger, but I've got no AP, so I got grounded there, but I think the rage there was a little bit mistimed, but yeah, that was interesting. We got the job done, but it wasn't as eloquent as I'd like it. I want to get a proper sneak attack crit kill on something, so we'll try that again. Okay, this time we've let Mr. Ghoul take out all of his insectoid friends, so now we can hit him with sneak criticals. Double figures from back here. Huh. Interesting. Hopefully that changes as he gets closer. Yep, that damage is climbing up. Yeah, it seems like a standard practice for shotguns to damage just go completely... fall off a cliff when they're out of range, which, sure, that's fine. Also, you could argue that I'm using this thing out of its intended purpose, but those crits are hitting nice, and, whoops. I took the jetpack off. I shouldn't have done that. Ow. Well, now you've done it, friend. Now, we switch to this one. And bullets, we switch to this one. Okay. You could argue that one was pretty toxic, but yes, having 3 shotguns on me, not having to pause for a reload there, making the best use out of what we possibly could have done with Nerd Rage, kind of saved my ass there, but okay, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make it happen one way or another. Just as soon as I kill this Mirelurk. Right, see ya. Okay. Honestly, the jetpack can stay off. It wasn't doing much for me anyway. Okay, you can probably guess what I'm about to do next. So I've changed this sniper status shotgun to utilize a Sigma reflex sight, as it were. And remember how I told you I dropped the jetpack? I lied. So here's how this is going to go down. I'm going to find the biggest bear of the lot, which I can't from here, so we'll just creep forward. There's the big boy, and we go for torso shots? No, let's get greedy. Let's hit him in the head multiple times over. And, to add insult to injury, crits. So whilst he's stuck in his slow motion waddling, we'll just continue to pepper him with shots. And as soon as we're out of bats, we'll open fire like this and toss all the already made bear corpses around. And if we can get a couple of extra percentage points of gun through damage, great news. And he can still attack me from here? Well, it's kind of a shame that the Mysterious Stranger is down there getting mauled by him. I wish I could have done something about that. But with the jetpack, I can easily cheese this fight by simply hovering over him. So why not? Oh dear, we are in trouble. Yeah, you better run, but we'll chase him down to the ends of the Commonwealth at this rate. In fact, at this stage, we can probably use our slug version, hit him with sneak criticals until he comes back. Oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. And yeah. Missed, mate. Actually, this guy's tough. I probably shouldn't let him hit me like that. Or I'll go into Nerd Rage again. You've activated my trap card, buddy. Just as soon as I get this thing reloaded... Nah, never mind. I'm using this one instead. There we go. Okay, that was a more successful stealth venture. I didn't get the kill all the way done with stealth, but we crippled him enough to easily finish him off with the follow-up attacks that I had planned. So everything worked out in the end. So, anyways, if you want to see this weapon in your game, check out the link in the description. It should be down there. It's the first time we've seen him mod in a while from Alpaca. So, good to see him back, and good to see that he's still at the top of his game, making some cool weapon mods. Extra COD ports. I'll never say no to him. You know, I understand they might not be every player's cup of tea for lore concerns or other reasons like that, but at the end of the day, it's a very high-quality, well-made weapon gun, and that they've served the, or they've got the parts or the assets from a different game doesn't really concern me. The implementation is always pretty well done, or generally speaking, when it comes to Call of Duty mods, so worth a download if you're interested. And if you're not, there's plenty of other shotgun mods you might find to be more tasteful in terms of a lore perspective, and it's an interesting flashlight. What the hell's going on there? I'm seeing me casting it in one spot only. It's weird. It's like
the flashlight is where the jetpack is or something. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to this outfit as well if you're interested in seeing it. It's interesting. It almost looks like it's from a Japanese cartoon. And I gotta say, the jetpack goes with it pretty well. The whites don't quite match, but I think the chrome works with it quite well. So you get this really sort of a high-tech look, just like in the future where there's no pants or something. But anyway, that's enough for me. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.